everyone, welcome to the channel. Welcome back if you're already a subscriber. If you're not, please subscribe. So BMW's done. I'll add a couple of pictures in after the valet. Looks really good. Obviously we done the video of the service on that one. A bit of a long video, that 58 minutes, so you know, if you like a longer video, please go and watch that. So that's done, that's up for sale. This is the next purchase, little Fiat 500. Now those smaller cars, probably the ones I probably will be getting into to sell. They're a little bit simpler, more popular, you know, easy turnaround cars. So I'm going to be aimed towards doing those. This one came from BCA car auctions, and my first BCA purchase actually, and made a little bit of a boo-boo with this one. This one didn't have any mechanical report on it at all. Now, being the first time I used BCA, I didn't really realise how important that was. I didn't actually notice. I was watching the auction, this car popped up, and I thought, oh, that's cheap, and had a cheeky bid on it, so I didn't really look through the advert correctly. And yeah, it didn't have a mechanical report on it. Now, mechanical reports, if they're missing, it's never good news. I've seemed to notice with BCA. No mechanical report usually means then they don't do one because there's mechanical issues. Now, in this case, sure enough, mechanical problems. Now, it's quite a bright little car, little 1.3 turbo diesel lounge. Lounge is the high spec of the Fiat 500. But as soon as I got there to collect it, I could hear timing churning rattle on the engine, which is pretty common on these 1.3 turbo diesels. They also put the same engine in the Vauxhall Corsas and the combo vans. So I have known of issues with this particular engine. So we're going to have to put a timing chain kit on this one. It's quieting down a little bit now, it's been running for a while, but when you start it up cold, it really does make quite a disconcerting noise. So we can't sell it like that. I wouldn't be prepared to sell a car that I knew had a mechanical issue with it. So for peace of mind, we're going to put a new timing chain kit on it. Of course, we'll make a video on it. So I'll show you around the car now. Bodywork's actually pretty good, but for some reason Fiat 500s are always filthy inside. Look at that, look at the seat. It's had a little dog in it somewhere, plenty of dog hair around. Now, no rips or tears though, this will come up lovely with the valet. So we'll be getting that done. 102,000 miles. I think one previous owner from new, if I remember rightly. So that's in its favour. A lounge model, so we've got the electric windows. It's got the full panoramic sunroof. A little bit of a problem here. That doesn't seem to retract correctly, but it has got a glass roof. So we'll have to look at that piece of material there and see what's going on. There must be some sort of mechanism in the headline in there. We have got city steering, which makes it extra light, not that it's heavy anyway. Aux in, air conditioning, steering wheel controls, and I think that's about it really. You get a couple of extra bits of trim. Now, worryingly, look at that, steering light, electric power steering light, warning light is on. And it did today when I started it up, came up with power steering fault or power steering failure. At the moment it's really hard. It's not always like that. I've driven it a couple of times and it's been fine, but that's another problem we've got to sort. And also, let's see if I can get this working again so you can hear it. Okay, so it's working now, nice and light. But yeah, not sure if you can make that out on camera. There's a creaking up top. That sounds like either a broken coil spring or the top mounts to me. Have a peek under the bonnet. jet diesel. £30 road tax on these. It's a bit of an added bonus, good for first time drivers obviously. Nice little cars. This trim seems to be something to do with the lounges. It's a bit like an imitation bull bar, I suppose. Why you need one of those in the Fiat 500, but it should clean up quite nice. Spotlights in the front bumper as well. You can see alloy wheels. Yeah, it's all pretty nice and dry under there. We're going to get to know that engine quite well by the time we strip that down. So we'll be stripping engine mount off, front cover off, replacing all the timing chain guides, changing the oil, full service, top mounts, so the list goes on. So guys, don't think it's easy buying and selling cars. This is only my second YouTube flip. The first one, I mean, I knew that was a nice car, but that didn't come from an auction, that was a private purchase. This one is an auction, and the reason it's obviously in the auction is a list of faults with it. Be too much for a private person to have done in the garage, so you know, I can understand why they didn't go for it. There's a fair old list there, so we're going to struggle to make a profit on this one. I know that already. Another problem here, look. Tailgate struts. Got the floor mats. Have we got a spare wheel? And a bit damp in there. Wants a bloody good valet. I think it's been sitting up a long time, this car. And somehow try and squeeze a profit out of it. Now the other thing, I won this car for £800. Okay, that's what it went through the auction at. The bidder before me was £750. I put another 50 quid on it, won it for £800. I thought the fees, I mean, I'm a new member to BCA, it's literally the first car I bought off them. I thought the fees would be a couple hundred quid on top of that, so I thought it'd be out for £1,050. No guys, the fees were £375 for this car. So first purchase, I mean I guess the cost of the fees does drop once you start going through some big numbers, you know, once you get over probably 10-20 cars, I would imagine. So you've got to turn over a few, but watch out for that. So on top of the 800 there's another 375, so that brings it up to 1175. And then luckily I was able to collect this one myself. I had the use of the truck to do that. Otherwise it would probably have been another 100-120 in delivery. So be careful. And also don't think, you know, this one looked lovely in the pictures, don't think that you're buying a car with no issues. This one's got mechanical issues. Luckily I'm going to be able to do most of the work myself. Timing chain kits for these are not particularly dear, they're about 100 quid's worth. And then quite a few hours labour to fit it. I'd say probably 6 to 8 hours to do it if we have no issues. Then the top mounts, they're not, the parts aren't particularly dear for these, that's the only thing in their favour. Top mount's going to be 20 quid each, maybe coil springs another 20 quid each, you know, so we've probably got, you know, another 100 quid's worth of work to get the front suspension working right. We'll have to do a little bit of diagnosis on the electronic power steering. The keen-eyed viewers of you would notice that it's got a cap missing there on the front. So we'll have to buy one of those. There'll be little bits and pieces on the valet, so I'd be very surprised if we're into this car for sort of less than £1,600-1,700. You know, maybe more, need an MOT, call it 1,800 quid for the service. And what's it really worth? You know, initially this started off as an £800 car on the auction. I looked at it and thought, oh, 1995, cheap little Fiat 500 lounge. Good chance it's going to owe me £1,800 by the time I get it advertised. So there's going to be a lot of work to potentially make 200 quid. But look, we're into it now. We've got to carry on. We'll make some good content for the channel and see what we're left with. You know, it might be able to, we'll have a look at prices once it's finished. And we might be able to go a bit more than £2,000, maybe 2,495 it, something like that. But yeah, we're going to be struggling to get a profit out of this one. So it's going to be a good, honest flip, this one. You know, how it really works in auctions. I mean, don't get me wrong, a lot of the time you're lucky. I didn't know about the mechanical reports. You know, if you've got a good mechanical report on a car, you've got a good chance. Yeah, beware guys. Get yourself a short list of cars that you're interested in bidding on before the auction. Set a number, set a price, what you're willing to go up to. Take, you know, in mind fees that you're going to spend on top of the actual price of the car, and look at those mechanical reports. If it hasn't got a mechanical report, expect it to need work. You know, essentially engine work, probably, you know, factor in the price of what it costs to put a new engine in it, if it would come to that. But yeah, don't go into it blind. Anyway guys, thank you for watching. We'll keep you updated on this car.